Okay. All right. So getting ready to hit day one of crop tour. What, overall conditions? Let's start with that. Overall conditions, east west, and then we'll go into tomorrow what we expect.
Sure. So we're starting out on our 31st year of Pro Farmer Crop Tour. So we have 30 years in the rearview mirror, which helps us from a data standpoint to know and compare to. Every year is different. So you kind of come into it knowing some things about the crop, but you never really know. This is a working tour, so we actually get out and pull samples, and what the crops look like from the road may not be what they are when you get out in there, and I think that'll be one of the keys this year. Crops don't look too bad from the road in most cases, but we know anecdotally from talking to farmers before crop tour that there are some issues. Some had pollination issues, some have some tip back issues, and obviously we have the extreme heat this week, and we have to factor that into everything at the end of the week. So everything Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday, excuse me, is raw crop tour data into fields, pull samples, and release the data on a state by state basis for the 7 crop tour states. On Friday, Pro Farmer at 1:30 Central Time will release our national crop estimates, so the U.S. corn and soybean estimates, and that takes into account not only the crop tour data, but areas outside of where we sample on crop tour, weather, so the extreme heat that we're going to encounter this week, and also how we think crops will finish, acreage changes based on FSA data and stuff like that. So all those other factors go into the pro farmer estimates, which is different than the crop tour data, raw data that's released Monday through Thursday.
What are you looking at seeing tomorrow when we start in Ohio?
So Ohio has had a really good growing season based on everything we know. So we want to see whether it lives up to those expectations or not. And we'll be in western Ohio and eastern Indiana tomorrow. So those are 2 areas that have had relatively good growing seasons. So that's the big thing tomorrow as we transition further to the west. Obviously Iowa and Illinois being the number 1 and number 2 producers. We will be in the entire state of Illinois here on the eastern side of the crop tour and the eastern half of Iowa. And so those last 2 days will be pretty critical because we're going through the number 1 and number 2 producers in Iowa and Illinois.
So, and you touched on heat a little bit. We're going to have probably some of the highest temperatures we've had, at least in a widespread across the Midwest. What do you think impact that is going to have on crops?
Well, in areas where they have enough soil moisture, they can probably get by a little bit to some degree. In areas where they don't, it's going to be stressed, and so we'll see some of that. It's going to rush maturity. There's no doubt about that. And so we have to take that all into account when we release the pro farmer estimates at the end of the week. It may not show up in the crop tour data Monday through Thursday, but at the end of the week, that's a factor that has to come into play.